sweet. Tom Sandoval and Billie Lee have had a falling out, and she's ready to mention it all. She's calling out his new girlfriend. She's talking about a secret intervention. Whew. We also have Katherine Dennis that's headed to trial for her DUI. And Lala Kent is finally clearing up rumors about her joining the Valley and talking about that spinoff that everyone can't shut up about. Let's get into it. You're listening to No Filter with Zach Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What up? Happy Thursday. Thursday. What's going on, everybody? Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. I hope you're having a lovely start to your day. Maybe you're listening to this later in your day. Maybe you're listening to this on your way home and you can't wait for it to be Friday. Whatever it is, I hope that you're in a good mood because I am. And I love you. So if you love me, then definitely be sure to show me some love on the podcast. Leave me a nice Apple Podcast review. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to check out my other two podcasts. The Pop Report, which is Beyond Reality, all the best celebrity news, insider tea from me and my friend Andy Lawani, who's an entertainment reporter for What's Trending, so he's always up to date on the latest celebrity gas. I've also got another show called Disaster Dater. Season 2 will be dropping later this month with me and my friend Jeff, where we dive into your disaster dater stories. Get ready because we're going to put out a call for new disaster dater stories soon, but we also put our disaster dating and sex blunders out there for you as well. It's funny, and you can listen to the first 6 episodes right now on Spotify. All right, guys, this Billie Lee stuff is pretty crazy. Laura Reigns in the live chat says, if you listen to all of Zach's podcasts, it's like Zach is always with you. Oh, no, that sounds scary. I'm everywhere. Michelle says, are your podcasts on Spotify as well? Yes, my podcasts are on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, everywhere. Everywhere. So you can tune in on any device. Okay. Oh, I am tired today. I went to the gym this morning and I didn't feel like going to the gym because I felt a little lazy. But we're here. We're alive. I know I had to do a cameo this morning where someone's like, can you give my mom a pep talk to help her go to the gym? And I was like, I don't even feel like going to the gym today, but still going to go. Kim Stone says she's loving the Pop Report. Yay. We have a new episode out now and a new episode dropping this Friday. So be sure to subscribe to the Pop Report on all podcast platforms. Okay. Billie Lee had Sloppy Joe on her podcast this week, and she is saying lots of things, and all these things are not very nice about her fallout, her friendship with Tom Sandoval. So as we know, after Sandoval broke, Billie was one of Tom Sandoval's only remaining friends, right? She was still hanging out with him. She was going to his birthday party. She was helping, according to herself, she was helping to claim that she was helping around the house and feeding Ariana's dogs and watering the plants. I don't know what she was doing, but I remember at one point, even Ariana was kind of like, yeah, I think Billie Lee's like living in the house. And Billie's like, I'm not living in the house, but I'm taking care of your house, Ariana. Right? So Sloppy Joe, I don't know why she's doing this podcast tour, right? She was on Rachel Levis's podcast and she's always doing these cuckoo crazy unhinged Instagram lives. And now here she is on Billie Lee's podcast. I don't understand why. I don't get it. For somebody that doesn't want to be part of this world, she sure seems to be very much embedding herself into this world. So they were talking about Tom Sandoval, and Billie explains how she was really bothered. There was an incident where, I guess Victoria, Tom's new girlfriend, who has since spoken out about this, but Victoria, according to Billie Lee, told Tom that now that Ariana wasn't living there anymore, that Tom needed to have the master bedroom. He needed to move out of the guest bedroom and move into the primary bedroom, right? Because we're not allowed to say master bedroom anymore. So primary bedroom. So he moved from, are we allowed to say guest bedroom? What would be the spare bedroom, extra bedroom, non-binary bedroom, non-conforming bedroom? Would that be the non-primary bedroom? Sorry, I'm just being cheeky. But so anyway, um, primary bedroom, Victoria's like, "You need to move in there because you're the man of the house, you're the boss," whatever, right? And then Billie Lee came in, she's like, "Nah, bro, I'm the man of the house. You get out of here, Victoria." And Victoria's like, "Excuse me." And I'm obviously playing this up. But so I guess Billie was like, "Tom, that's not cool. Don't touch Ariana's stuff because Ariana's stuff is still in the primary bedroom." And then Tom Sandoval was like, "Oh, yeah, you're right, Victoria. Like, that does sound like a good idea. Like, it's technically my house now when it's technically not your house now because she's suing you so that you can sell the house. So why would you move into the primary bedroom when it's not even your house yet? You guys still share the house, Tom Sandoval and Victoria. Who does Victoria think she is coming up in here acting like this is her house? It ain't even your house, sis. It's still got Raquel Coochie juice all over it. It's not even your house yet. So let's chill. Okay?" Okay. Victoria coming in and she's already, telling Billie Lee, "Stop watering the plants. These are my plants now." Right? So, for somebody that's not in another one, aside from Sloppy Joe, now we have Messy Victoria, right? For someone that's not in Vanderpump world, she sure is all up on it, right? She's sure embedding herself real quick. So, um, Tom, I guess, calls Logan, Ariana's friend. This is all according to Billie Lee, right? Calls Logan and says, "Logan, we need to move Ariana's stuff out of the primary bedroom because she no longer lives there. She no longer lives here. She's not staying here. She's in New York. She's traveling, whatever. She's whatever, not here, doing her best thing. She has Dan. She has an Airbnb. She bought a new house." So Billy doesn't make it clear if Logan's the one that moved this stuff out or who exactly moved Ariana's stuff out of the primary bedroom, or if the stuff did end up getting moved out of the primary bedroom. That has not been established exactly. Billy just said that this is something that Victoria was encouraging Tom to do. And Billy said she very much disagreed with it because that's Ariana's stuff. That's Ariana's bedroom. They shouldn't be touching her stuff. They shouldn't be going into the bedroom. And we already know what happened last time where he went into the bedroom with the air conditioner and she freaked out about that because then Maya went and ate her leftover, chicken skewers that she left in her bedroom that she didn't throw away. That said, unclear what happened with the bedroom, but it appears that it's possible that Tom and Victoria moved into the primary bedroom and moved Ariana's stuff, packed it away outside of the bedroom. Okay. Then Billie Lee is like, "I didn't like that. That wasn't cool." And then she gets into this whole other rant about how Tom Sandoval he's spiraling. He's not doing well. He's drinking again. He's missing all of his meetings. He's always sick. He's always saying, "I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick." And then Billie's like, "And then we had to stage an intervention," right? Because everybody was concerned and everybody was coming to me, which I mean, I guess Billy was one of Tom's primary friends, not his master friend, but his primary friend. Um, and so everyone was like, "Oh, well, let's go to Billy and have, a conversation and see if Billy can help get Tom Sandoval back on track." Right? Well, I mean, I guess Billie Lee or like maybe Kyle Chan, because Kyle Chan I know is also still close to Sandoval and still talks to him often, and they're still friends, whatever. Maybe Schwartz, I don't know. 'Cause Schwartz is not only his friend, but his business partner, and he's his colleague on the show on Vanderpump Rules because they're on the same cast. I don't know, but for whatever reason, Billie claims that everybody was coming to her. So she's like, "You know what? I'm going to get everybody together." And I'm going to that's a really good question. Someone just asked, "Where's the dog now that Ariana bought her own place?" Is the dog still with Tom Sandoval? Did she ditch her dog? Could you imagine? Don't get the PETA police on it. Don't nobody called the Paw Patrol. Did Ariana ditch her dog? Is this a Dorit situation where she left the dog at the kill shelter that is now run by Victoria and Tom? What happened to Maya? Well, because obviously she's not traveling with Maya, right? Like Maya's not in New York with her. So where's Maya? Does she leave Maya at the house with Tom Sandoval? She wants to say that that's her dog. I have questions. Anyway, moving on. Back to Victoria and Tom, because Billy says that she tried to organize this whole intervention and it was supposed to be at Kyle Chan's jewelry shop. And she said, "Come on down." And probably has the dog. Does Anne? I don't know. Is Anne still at the house? Where is Anne? Anne's like buying batteries and taping podcasts and filming commercials. I don't know where Anne is. No, I can't imagine her leaving her dog. But she left her dog before. The dog was there when she was, I don't know. I heard Maya was in New York with Ariana. Possibly. It's a lot to travel with the dog back and forth, but it's possible. I wouldn't be surprised if she did. I'm curious. I don't know. Who's taking care of Maya? Who's walking Maya? I would not leave my dog with an ex after having to pay 6,000 allegedly for the surgery. That's a good point, Pamela. Yeah, she should never leave him with Anne. Oh, Anne works at something about her. Of course she does. Of course she does. Anne is taking all the selfies. Anne and Terry are running that shop. Anne and Terry are the new Katie and Ariana. Um, Brad has the dog in NYC. They're currently roommates there. Oh, Brad is with her at NYC. Okay, that makes sense. And if Brad stays in NYC with the dog, because I don't know, I just think traveling with the dog back and forth like doesn't create stability. But um, you know, I don't know. Listen, guys, I don't know where the fucking dog's at. Don't get mad at me or don't get mad at her. I don't know where the fucking dog's at. I just know where my dogs are at. That's my responsibility is my dogs. I don't know about the other dogs. But so Billie tried to stage an intervention at Kyle Chan's store. And she claims that she got everybody there and they were going to get Tom on the right path because he started drinking again. And she didn't really say that his drinking was out of control, but she just said that he was like not going to his meetings that were being booked for like brand deals. And she's like, listen, at one point he was going broke. He was one of the most hated people in the world. So he wasn't getting all these brand deals that he should have been getting. So he should have been saying yes to every brand deal that came his way. And he wasn't taking meetings and people were getting concerned. So she says that he didn't end up showing up to the intervention, even though she'd still planned and staged this whole intervention. He never showed up to the intervention. So she went to his house and she went to check on him afterwards. And she's like, hey, what's going on? Why didn't you go to Kyle Chan's store today? We were having a secret intervention that you were not supposed to know about, but now I'm telling you about it. And Tom's like, oh, I was sick. I wasn't feeling well. And she's like, Tom, you can't always be sick. And then I guess they got into some sort of heated argument. She doesn't like Victoria. She claims Victoria then found out about the secret intervention and Victoria wasn't invited to the secret intervention. And Victoria is the type of girl that's like, I may not always show up. I at least want to be invited. At least invite me, send me an evite. And that way I can decline and say I can't make it because I have another influencer event. So Victoria, I guess, was very upset that she did not get the evite. And she was mad at Billie, and then her and Billie got into it, and then now Billie doesn't talk to Tom Sandoval because apparently he's pussy whipped by Victoria. And then Victoria said, hold on, wait a minute, hold my beer. I got something to say about that. She's like, I got something to say about her. So Victoria jumps into the group chat, right? And Victoria responds, and she said, in response to the outrageous lies with recent Billie and Joe podcast, absolute lies, response with the truth, and the truth is in all capital letters. So she means business. When you put it in capital letters on an Instagram story and you don't even put a filter or a background, and it's the black background with white text, that is serious. So she said, response with the truth coming soon. Dun, dun, dun. And then she puts another Instagram story and she says, but first, let me take a selfie. She says, but first, let me make something very clear. And then very isn't on capital letters. So again, she means business when she says very. When an influencer does capital letters, that she is standing on business. Okay. I have never and would never touch belongings that aren't mine, nor have I suggested to do so. I have nothing but respect for Ariana, RESPECT, and it's not my place to get involved. Girls, shoot your shot at staying relevant with your lies and your made-up stories, but the truth will come out soon enough. Dun, dun, dun. So she's very upset about this. She's like, that is a lie. I am not that type of girl. I'm not going to kick out the ex when I'm moving in, even though I'm moving in. I don't know. Victoria seems thirsty. Billie seems thirsty. Joe is the thirstiest in all of this. I'm like, Sloppy Joe, what are you doing? Why are you inserting yourself? Why are you going on everybody's podcast? And then the weird part is Billie's like, oh, we're all concerned about Tom. And then Joe's like, yeah, I was concerned about Tom too. Beep, 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 boop, boop, boop. Nickelodeon. And everyone, I was just like, what is Joe talking about? I'm like, why? Was Joe ever really friends with Tom Sandoval? And if you were really friends with Tom Sandoval, then how do you still admit that you didn't know that Tom and Rachel were having an affair? And then you're still close friends with Rachel? but you still wanna say, "I didn't know that there was an affair." Do, 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 Nickelodeon. Like, what do you I don't she's so confusing to me. I just everything about Sloppy Joe is just very strange. Um, Joe was a complete spaz during the podcast. She was playing heads, shoulders, knees and toes, and inserting herself. Are we allowed to say spaz anymore? What does spaz even mean? I don't think I've ever really used that term, but are we allowed to say that anymore? We're not allowed to call her a spaz anymore. We call her primary. um, Joe with her, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was weird how she was just like, yeah, she was like defending Billie Lee and be like, yeah, and we're concerned for Tom Sandoval. And yeah, and I'm like, were you ever even close to Tom Sandoval? Like, like, when did you get here? Who invited you to the party, Sloppy Joe? Schwartz did. And then, yeah, I don't know. Did Beyonce get in trouble for saying spaz in a song? I think so. I don't know if we're allowed to say that. So don't cancel I'm just saying I don't even know what that word means. I don't know if we're allowed. I don't know. I guess I don't think we're allowed to say that word anymore. It was a term in the 70s. Well, Eve at one gonna bite my tongue on that one. Okay. NDub says yes. Yes, we're allowed to say it. Okay. If NDub says yes, we're allowed to say it, then yes, we're allowed to say it. I don't know. I actually don't know what NDub is saying yes to in the live chat. She just said yes with no context. So she's probably trying to get me canceled. Thoughts on Billie Lee? Who is the thirstiest of them all? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the thirstiest of them all? Is it Billie Lee? Is it Sloppy Joe? Or is it Victoria? Makes me think of Adam Sandler. Can we get a list? A list of what? What do you want a list of? Of everyone that's thirsty? I think it's weird that Billie, if she really thinks that this is her friend, that it's weird that she's gonna go on the internet and um it's weird that she's gonna go on the internet and like out Tom. That to me is strange. I don't understand why like if this friendship matters to you so much so that you want to have an intervention, like what is the point of like going and talking smack about it? The same thing with Sloppy Joe when she goes on her Instagram lives and she drags Schwartz, but she's like, but I love Schwartz and we're always gonna be friends and I'm always gonna love Schwartz and we're gonna end up together. Do 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 Nickelodeon. I'm just like, Joe, what are like they're so confusing. I don't understand the motive other than relevance. They want to stay important. I don't know. I I don't know. Alyssa Peyton says, Zach, I love all your podcasts. I watch and listen to you all day at work, and you seriously get me through the day. I love you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It just means goofy, clumsy, etc. Well, Billie is jealous of Tom's new girlfriend, I think. You know, that would make sense if he said, I mean, listen, this does happen a lot in friendships, right? Your friend gets into a relationship, that relationship becomes their priority over their other friendships. That other person takes up so much more of their time. So sometimes there is a bit of jealousy. So that's possible that Billie is jealous of this new relationship that Tom has with Victoria. And maybe the fact that Victoria is now kind of replacing Billie. And maybe Victoria is just somebody that he listens to a lot more before he would listen to Billie. I did text Kyle Chan. I was like, whoa, what I sent him the clip from Billie's podcast. I'm like, what is this? She's saying that she's trying to have an intervention at your store and Tom's off the wagon. Like, what is this? And he was like, lies. He's like, don't worry. It's all lies, but the truth will be revealed soon. Secrets revealed. So CL says, any woman that picks Tom is the thirstiest. They know what they're signing up for, including Ariana. Oof. Shots fired. I do agree, not about the Ariana part, but I do agree about the Tom part. Anybody that's gonna date him knowing he's one of the most disliked people in pop culture at the moment, like, you know what you're signing up for. Like, you kind of you have some sort of clue, right? You're not that clueless. Pamela says it seems that she's trying to hold on to Schwartz however she can. She doesn't want to be too hard on him. But I don't know. It's weird. 3, 2, 1. Here enters Victoria on Nick Vile's podcast. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Schwartz even unfollowed Victoria. Ooh, maybe Victoria is the problem. Interesting. I'm curious. What is going on? I mean, I don't trust anybody. I mean, it's the same reason. Sorry. It's the same reason I don't trust Dan, right? I think anybody that's going to date somebody that's in the middle of a giant scandal like Scandoval was, I just think that there are questions, there are motives. I was skeptical of Dan, and people on Twitter got upset. They're like, how can you be skeptical of Dan? I was like, I don't know, maybe because she was dating Tom Sandoval for 9 years and, she just got her heart broken, that I want to make sure she doesn't get her heart broken again, and a rebound could potentially break her heart. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. So yeah, we'll see. Whew. Okay. Katherine Dennis from Southern Charm. We know a couple weeks she was arrested for a DUI. Her attorney appeared in court on Tuesday of this week. And her attorney basically said, we want to go to trial. Give us a jury trial. He said, we want prenup. Yeah. So they're going to trial. I believe the trial's coming up in a couple of months. We'll see what happens. It's an interesting choice. I don't know if anybody has any information about the benefits of going to trial over, um, like, I don't know. Well, what are the options? I've never gotten a DUI. I've had friends that have gotten DUIs, but I've never gotten a DUI, and I don't remember them having jury trials over it though. But this is her second offense. I'm assuming they're gonna probably wanna pull on the heartstrings of a jury, and I don't know, but that does seem very risky. I agree with Laura in the live chat. It seems a little risky. It'll scare the prosecution and they'll drop it. Oh, why? Because you think the prosecution's gonna lose? This is interesting. I don't know. Luciana says, Zach, not taking any sides, but these grown ass people seem also middle school behavior. Why does society care? That's a great question. I think we care because we watch these reality shows and we're invested in their lives. Trial sounds risky. Jurors will look at her past. Yeah, I don't know if a trial is necessarily the right way to go, considering they have so much on her. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. I wish her the best, though. She really just needs to clean up her act, get her shit together. That way she can be a good mother to her children. Thomas Ravenel, I'm sure, is just loving all of this. But it's like, you want to, these are your babies. You want to make sure you're taking care of them. You want to make sure you're giving good care to them. Like my boys, Sky and Sully. I want to make sure that I'm taking care of them, which is why I'm excited to say that today's episode is sponsored by the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program. Your pet is part of your family, and you want the best for them no matter what. But vet bills can really add up, and that's why you should check out pet insurance. And with ASPCA Pet Health Insurance, you can focus on the care your pet deserves and cover what matters most. Okay? The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier for pet parents like you and me to help your pet get the care they may need. The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program has been around for over 18 years, and they've helped more than 600,000 pets during this time. They allow you to customize your plan, helping to ensure that your pet's plan is as unique as they are. It's simple. Use their app to submit a claim and you'll receive reimbursement for eligible vet bills directly into your bank account. To explore coverage, visit aspcapetinsurance.com/nofilter. That's aspcapetinsurance.com/nofilter. Again, that's aspcapetinsurance.com/no filter. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independence American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance. And on that note, I did also just want to shout out my pals at Dry Farm Wines. Listen, guys, I love a good drink. I love some Dry Farm wines. You know why? Because I don't get that gnarly headache, nor do I get that gnarly hangover. Okay. Dry Farm Wines has no sugar. It's low carb. It's keto friendly. It's paleo friendly. It's vegan. it's a third party tested for purity, and there are no toxic additives, no toxic dyes, no toxic chemicals. Like that's one thing I think people don't realize is how many additives are actually in the are actually in wines. So these are clean wines that you can trust. It's a curated box that gets shipped directly to your door that you can order now at dryfarmwines.com. You can get your first bottle for just a penny. Go to dryfarmwines.com/Zack, Zack, and you'll get your first bottle for just a penny. That's dryfarmwines.com/ZACK. Boop, boop. Ooh, smiling with Aaron D. Hey, Aaron D. What's going on, girl? Says, please like, subscribe, and share. That's right, Aaron D. Like, subscribe, and share. Okay, let's talk about your favorite. It's your bestie, Miss Westy. These hoes try to test me. Test me. Um, it's your bestie. It is Lala Kent, your favorite. We're gonna talk about Lala and we're gonna talk about Ariana. So get your pitchforks ready. Now that I don't think that any of this news is bad though. I don't think it'll upset anybody. But Lala was talking about whether or not she's joining the Valley. And Lala Kent claims that she has not been in any negotiations or any talks to join the Valley, so that those rumors are false, that there have been zero talks about her joining the cast of the Valley. She doesn't know what's happening with the Valley. She has no interest in joining the Valley at this time. She's just like, that's not something that's happening. On top of that, she said she has also never pitched Bravo or the network or the production company a spinoff show. She said that those rumors are also false. She never pitched a spinoff. There were never conversations about her having a spinoff. All of those things are false, right? Because there was this blind item. You know, we love blind items because everyone's like, ooh, a blind item. That must mean that it's from somebody legit, right? Too legit to quit. Nope. It just means anybody can go. I can literally go and submit a blind item and say, I fucked Andy Cohen 2 weeks ago. And I can be like, and his dick looked like this, right? I can say that. Doesn't have to mean that it's true, and anybody can publish it as a blind item because people submit them anonymously, right? And a lot of times they don't vet these things. So somebody said, "Oh, her rating was so bad that the network was, she pitched them a spinoff, and her rating was so bad that her was a QR rating was so bad that that they couldn't give her a spinoff because, the fans don't like her." And I'm just like, well, first of all, that's like people saying, um, it's like people saying that Vanderpump is going to get canceled because whatever, right? Which I don't think Vanderpump's going to get canceled. I mean, it may get canceled, but I think a lot of people don't realize that like the ratings for Vanderpump are so good, and the network is always going to allow ratings to dictate like numbers to dictate like success, right? First of all, like the cast individual ratings, I believe it's called a QR rating, right? Like the QR ratings, if that term is incorrect, I apologize. Please correct me. But those QR ratings are not judged off of social media, right? Andy Cohen has often said, producers have often said, like, social media is not an accurate reflection of the true audience that is watching Bravo. It's just a small fraction of the loudest audience that is on social media, right? Because most people, think about it, don't go on Twitter. Like, some people really love it and engage on social media. But the ones that are like super mega obsessed, that are talking about it and tweeting about it all day, every day, and fighting with people and spending hours going back and forth and stuff, like, that's not the main audience, right? There are lots of people that watch Bravo. Some of them aren't on social media. Majority of the audience, this has been said many times by producers, by Andy Cohen, that social media is not an accurate reflection of the true Bravo audience, just a reflection of the minority that happens to be the loudest. So those ratings, whether it's of Lala or whoever, aren't necessarily based off of what people are saying online, but they're based off other types of surveys that they conduct about the cast, right? And from what I have heard, I believe the network was actually shocked at the fan reaction on social media because I think they were expecting the opposite. This is how I don't think that they're upset with Lala necessarily, the network and the production company, because I think that they were expecting the fans to be on Lala's side as the voice of reason. We see that in what Andy Cohen was kind of teasing, right? When he's like, I told Lala this was her best season ever. And which, listen, I actually would agree from a production standpoint, from a storyline standpoint. I do think this was Lala's best season, not from like a drama standpoint, right? And I think when producers look at the show, they look at it from a story arc. They look at it from the overall story from the cast member when they first started on the show to where they're at now, their character evolution. And I think when it comes to Lala, there has been a lot of growth. You can disagree with me, and that's fine. But again, from a producer standpoint, and this is why I think both Lisa Vanderpump and Andy Cohen thought that this was, because Lisa even recently did an interview where she said that, Lala and James are the two that she thinks has grown up the most. Lala was a voice of reason this season. She really was. She was looking at it from, a different lens that the other cast members may have either been too afraid to approach. Like, I think Sheena may have been too afraid to question Ariana. And I think Katie was also, we saw a different side of Katie this season. She was too afraid. Um, but I think you see a more grounded the fact that Lala was so angry at Tom Sandoval at the beginning of the season, and then towards the end of the season was like, whoa, maybe I'm projecting, right? Like maybe there's something from my experience with Randall and my ex and how bad that went. Maybe I'm projecting my own feelings on other people. And maybe, I need to do a little inner reflection. And I think we saw that this season. So I think from a character arc, from a storyline perspective, I think Andy and Lisa were right. There was the best growth. Now, when you look at it from like a loud audience fan member on social media, I don't think they view it in that way. They view it more as a football game, right? This is my team. That's your team. We're Team Ariana. We ride it down. Yeah. Right. Or there's also the audience that's equally as polarizing, but they look at it from the opposite end. Ooh, Ariana, how you get him is how you lose him. Rah! Right. Again, we lack the nuance. We lack, being able to look at all sides and look at the show from a higher objective perspective, which I think is what production and the network look at, right? They're looking at it from a much bigger lens aside from the your team versus my team. So I think, when it comes to, I think that the rumors about Lala getting a spinoff and them, denying her a spinoff because she's not very likable at the moment. I think that's all fan conjecture. That's all speculation. And that was somebody that made up one little rumor, put it out there, and then everybody started to latch onto it and add their own sort of commentary into it. And that's why I think, a lot of people, and this is why I understand that there are so many people that ride so hard for Ariana, and I think I said this in another episode this week or maybe last week, that I understand how people feel like they can relate to her, right? Whether they've been wronged in a relationship or they've been cheated on or they've recently had their heart broken, like they were able to, find empathy in Ariana's experience. And I think they feel that point of connection. And, I think everything that we do and everything that we see is a point of projection. There was a clip from an interview that I did with Jenny McCarthy previously, and I love this clip, and I always kind of revert back to it, especially when things get loud for me, like on Twitter or in reviews or in comments or whatever. I revert back to it. And, she's somebody that I look up to as a mentor. I've known her since I was like 16, 17 years old. And I've seen her go through a lot of criticism and take on a lot of heat. I mean, she started her career in Playboy. And I think when you then move into a parenting brand and write books and go on and then become a co-host of The View, like people don't like that, you know, growth, especially in a blonde woman with big boobs that used to pose for Playboy, right? So seeing her go through it, I've often come to her with how she deals with criticism. And she's like, you can't take it personally. You just have to remember that any criticism that comes, whether it's mean or evil, it's coming from how that person is feeling or what they're seeing in their own projections. And you just have to stay grounded in that. And so that was kind of helpful. And I just think, I don't know. I'm going on a random tangent, but long story short, Lala is not joining the Valley. She's not getting her own reality show. Um, And those rumors that were out there were apparently false. Now, on the flip side, there's also this clip that's now started to go around on social media. Um, oh wait, what do you guys say? Common Sensei says the blind loyalty to Ariana makes people attack people's livelihoods like Tom's, Lala's, Zach's. It's weird. It is weird. It's I don't know. It's hard because it's like I wanna openly, like, talk about, like, how I think it's strange that people are, like, really trashing my podcast reviews, and it's, like, consistent, but I feel like the more I talk about it, the more people are like, "Yeah, then I'm gonna go and do that." I don't it's weird. Um, I don't know. I've tried to listen to it, I've tried to understand where people are coming from, but I think it goes back to that same sentiment of, like, listen, there's something that's going on in if you are so motivated to tear somebody else down, that's on you. I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna wake up every day. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna sweat it out. I'm gonna love my doggies. I'm gonna see my family. I'm gonna see my friends. I'm gonna go on hot girl walks with my friends and do all the good things. And it's all good at the end of the day. You just have to take it and move on. Lala has truly evolved over her 8 seasons, loved her growth and her sobriety journey. I completely forgot about the sobriety journey as well. Yeah, I agree. I love it when you make a short story long. I always make a short story long. It was a great clip and point. Thank you, Laura. We don't do that to Ariana. That's very true. That is very true. Even the people that dislike Ariana are not trying to trash her livelihood. And I stand that. No love for Captain Sandy. Like Sandoval or Captain Sandy from Below Deck. Um, Rochelle says, "I'll have to pass on Lala. I used to like her." Listen, and that's okay. Like that's the thing with these reality shows. One season we're gonna love someone, the next season we're gonna dislike them, and the next season we might like them again, or we might never like them again. It's that simple. It really is. People need to just unfollow and move on. The report is BS. Yeah. Well, it's funny though because I think people. Well, in response to some of the criticism, I think people think that. By being mean and being loud that it's hurting. I mean, yes, it can hurt your mental health if you give it too much attention. But when we were looking at the numbers this week, I was like, oh wow, engagement is really up. Like even though the comments may not be nice, like the comments like are driving lots of engagement. The more engagement you drive to a video on YouTube or you drive to a post on Instagram, the more the algorithm is going to show that this is a popular post and then they're going to share it with more people. Same thing with the podcast reviews. I was like, oh my god, people are leaving like persistent 1-star reviews and like writing mean things in the reviews. And then my producer texts me a screenshot and he's like, "Oh, look, you're up this week." He's like, "You're number 46 on, the top charts and like I think number 8 on one of the other charts." And I was like, "That's great." I was like, "See, even though they think that they're like hurting you." That's why I was telling them, like, when people were trying to bring Lala's podcast rating down, I'm like, I think the pursuit of trying to bring it down is weird and gross and unhinged. However, it's not really hurting her because it's keeping her in like that top 10. You know, that engagement, people I don't think realize actually helps more than it hurts. Um, in algorithm wise, right? And engagement wise, not in mental health wise. Mental health can still be harmful. So when people think that they're like trying to attack your livelihood, the only thing they're really attacking is your mental health. And that's where it's a little strange to me. Pamela, that's so wrong. Dislike someone if you want, but don't mess with their way. I mean, it is. Listen, people are doing what they want to do. I think that's why Schwartz was so upset with the fourth wall being broken because it was his real life for years, unlike the past 2 seasons. Yeah, possibly. People hanging their mental health on your show is ridiculous. Retaliation against your show is such a tell. I mean, yeah. People were driving Schwartz and Sandy's ratings down. It affects everyone who works there, not only the owners. That was really bad. That's true. And that's another good point that I don't think people realize. I don't know. It's weird. So bad news is good news. Because I mean, sure, if you want to look at it that way, I don't know. I'm trying to reframe it in my mind. But the Ariana thing, this is interesting because, and this is on the opposite side, because people think, oh, well, I don't defend Ariana and I'm, only defending Lala. I've seen this old clip from Watch What Happens Live go around, and it's a clip of Tom and Ariana where they get asked about, and this is fresh into their relationship, and they get asked about um, Kristen and the cheating and whatever, and how Tom basically cheated on Kristen to get with Ariana, and he's like, "Well, I didn't really cheat. I just kissed Ariana, but it was nothing more until I broke up with Kristen." And then he's like, "Well, Kristen was sleeping all around, and Kristen was doing this, and Kristen had banged Jax, and all of this stuff." And so he's blasting Kristen, and then Ariana's kind of like snarling right there too, and she's just like, "Yeah, like dogging Kristen." They were basically both kind of shaming Kristen um, in that interview and saying how Ariana felt confident that Tom would never cheat on her, and Tom was very confident that he would never cheat on her. And so now people are resurfacing that clip and they're like, "Ooh, see, how you get him is how you lose him." Jen says, "I never forgot how Ariana gaslit Miami Girl." Yes, I hear you, and I get the critiques of Ariana. However, it's still to my same point about that Kakamaraca chick dragging all of Lala's old clips from Vanderpump Rules and being like, "Well, she said this 8 years ago, and that's contradictory to what she said now. And look at what a hypocrite she is." It's like, really, you're going to take something from way before and compare it to now? Like, people change, people grow, people evolve. And listen, I believe at the beginning of their relationship, Ariana believed Tom. She believed that he wasn't going to cheat on her. And I believe when he says he would never cheat on her, he believed that. Right. But I also think Tom is somebody that is motivated by connection. And I think with Rachel, being so enamored and infatuated with him, it made him feel important in a relationship where he no longer felt important to Ariana. And then you mix alcohol in it, because I saw Patty Stinger talking about how alcohol encourage or alcohol can lead to cheating. Like, the more you're drinking in those types of settings, the more you loosen your inhibitions and your judgment, is clouded. But so I don't think it's fair to judge Tom and Ariana for something that happened 10 years ago, for things that they said 10 years ago. They were younger, they were dumb kids. It's, a different time. And I also don't know if I necessarily agree with the whole once a cheater, always a cheater. I think, 'cause I was thinking about that. I was like, I guess the point that people are trying to make is that, well, he was a cheater, then he's always been a cheater, he's always going to be a cheater. And I'm like, but I want to believe that, like, if you really don't want to be a cheater, you can put in the work to not be a cheater. I do, however, think that once you open that door to cheating, you never fully lock it. Like, the door is just always going to be there and it's always going to be open. And it's just up to you whether or not you choose to open that door again. But I think every time you cheat, you remove the lock the first time, and then you open the door a little bit more the second time, and then you open it a little more the third time. And you learn how to get away with it. You learn how to get better at it. Or so you think, right? Because you learn from the last lessons. And so you can either learn how to be a better cheater, or you can learn how to be better in a relationship. But I think you can learn as a result of being a cheater. You can grow from that if you want to grow. And again, we're always going to change. We're always going to evolve in life in general. It just depends on what we focus on. Some people, I think, become better cheaters, and other people, I think, are capable. It's the harder route, but I think other people are capable of learning how to not engage in those urges to cheat moving forward, and actually doing the work and being like, well, what is it that I'm looking for in another relationship? Is it physical intimacy? Is it a connection? Is it an emotional connection? What am I lacking in this relationship that I'm looking for elsewhere? And then once you do that work, then you can work on that and either work on your relationship or leave your relationship rather than cheat in that relationship. So I do think it's possible, but people see cheating as an option. Yes, yeah, yeah, they all eventually get caught. Yes, well, for the most part, I think there are some cheaters that do get away with it. Um, but yeah, we shall see. Okay. But I don't love that everyone's dragging Ariana for that clip from Watch What Happens Live 10 years ago. I think she was in love with Tom. She was young. She was more naive. Um, I mean, listen, you can hold her a little more accountable for, like, maybe more recent years because she was more grown. She knew Tom a little bit more. There were signs that maybe she could have seen, but that wasn't her responsibility to see those signs of him cheating. I think when you're in a relationship, you're going to trust your partner, and you should always trust your partner. So, behaviors and can be learned and unlearned. It's an effort you want to put into it. Exactly. You're always going to continue learning, growing, evolving, whatever. It just depends on what you put your effort into, right? You can become a better cheater or try to be, or you can become a better person in a relationship or try to be. Sandoval definitely seems like a you and me against the world love bombing type. Yeah, and listen, he is definitely that love bombing type. So you can't blame Ariana for falling for that when she was a lot younger back then. He was love bombing her. He was telling her how amazing. She's like, "You're so cool, girl. Like you're so cool, man. Oh God, you're so cool. You're just like the hottest thing ever." Like when Kristen was chasing you down at Sir, and you like, and she was screaming at you and like trying to out you about Miami Girl, and like you took that. Like that was so hot, man. And Ariana's like, yeah, that was so hot. So, yeah, I think she got duped by Tom. I think he's a sweet talker. He knows how to sweet talk. We now call it love bombing, but I just think he was smooth and he does have this like allure of sexual energy that I think can be attractive because of the way he carries himself. Confidence does make you more attractive. I think people see him on television or people may see him, through a screen and maybe they're not as attracted to him then, but as somebody that's been in his presence, he's very charismatic. He gives you his attention, he gives you his energy, the way he holds his body energy towards you, like that pulls you in. And that definitely gets girls loose in the knees. And so I can see how he does have that charisma. Voice texting, guys. Sorry, I hurt my wrist. Oh no, how did you hurt your wrist? Listen, end up when you're, you need to make sure you take care of your wrists. Ariana was the ultimate cool girl. I wanted to be like her when I was in my late teens. Now it's obvious how misogynistic that mindset is in hindsight, like Gone Girl monologue on being the cool girl. Yeah, we grow and we evolve. I worked in a senior home, and even those guys have issues with cheating. And the side piece is just down the hall. It's very, oh my goodness. Jesus. We got the hoes in the senior citizens place and the players, the pimps and the hoes. I love it. All right. Oh, double clicking the mouse. Is that what we're calling it now? And she's hurting her wrist, double clicking the mouse. Mm. All right, guys. Pussy popping in the old folks' home. I know that's right. That's why there's all them STDs everywhere in the old folks' home. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to No Filter with Zach Peter. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Yeah, this is our last episode of the week, unless you're a member of the Zack Pack. And if you are, then I will see you later today for our or later this evening for our members bonus only live stream, our members only bonus live stream, which will be later this evening. Stay tuned for a notification. I'm going to try to go live about 5 p.m. Pacific. 5:30 is the goal. So get ready for that. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm sending you nothing but the best this weekend. So if you are a member, I'll see you later. If you want to become a member, you can click on the link in the description below and become a member. And be sure to get your copy of Crystal Hefner's new book so that we can read it. You read up on it now so that when we do our live stream for book club for the month of June, you're fully briefed, ready, and prepped. All right. Have a good one, guys. Keep up with me at Just Plain Zach all over the internet. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zach. Be sure to check out Disaster Daters and The Pop Report. Both of them, you can watch full episodes. I have playlists on the YouTube channel, or if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, you can just search Disaster Daters or The Pop Report, and both of those podcasts should come up. All right, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Ciao for now. Bye, 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 bye. Yeah.